Namaskar and welcome to Startup Champions. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. This is the stage that celebrates the startup talent of India. We're talking about tourism sector. Now, Taj Mahal in Agra, the temple town of Varanasi, from the hills of Mussoorie to the beaches of Goa, all these places and more have put India on the top of the tourism map of the world. Now, is tourism about just one place, or the whole travel experience as a whole is something that we need to understand? With the pandemic, we know the challenges for the tourism sector has increased many-fold. Also, the expectation of tourists has also changed. Now we want cleaner toilets, we want access to affordable rooms, we want end-to-end solution as far as online booking of facilities are concerned. Now, startups today are identifying these need areas, these gap areas, and providing innovative solutions. They're making the incredible India experience truly unique. Let us welcome the startups who are joining us in the program today. We have with us fresh rooms from a startup from Bhopal. Ashutosh, founder, is joining us. Ashutosh, welcome to the program. Our next startup, Highway Delight, and Rajesh, founder, is with us. Warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Shubhendu.
And we have an exciting bunch of audience members. We have young students, we have entrepreneurs, we have faculty members from leading institutions. Warm welcome to you. Please put your hands together and welcome to the brand new episode of Startup Champions. And mentors, as we know, are a very important part of any startup journey and the crucial part of our program as well. And joining us is Mr. Madhavan Menon, MD, Chairman, Thomas Cook India. Warm welcome to you, Madhavan. We know it's a leading integrated travel services company in the country, Thomas Cook India, spanning across 25 countries and some 5 continents, and of course, winner of many prestigious travel awards. Great to have you in the program. Welcome, Madhavan. Begin the program with a special report to understand the kind of impact that the pandemic has had on the tourism sector. But on a good side, the manner in which the tourism sector is recovering from that challenge. Let's take a look.
"2020 was a difficult year for the world, to say the least. For the tourism sector, it was an unprecedented setback. Lockdowns and restrictions prevented 90 crore tourists from stepping out of their homes. Even amidst this crisis, Indian hospitality industry led by example and innovation. While the flow of tourists dropped, hotels opened the doors for frontline health workers. While the health workers fought the pandemic, hospitality sector made comfortable accommodation and care available for them. Let us take a closer look at what makes India's tourism sector unique. The ratio of share in domestic and foreign tourism in India is 8:1. Number of Indians travelling within the country is 8 times the number of people going abroad. The government has appealed to domestic tourists to explore at least 15 destinations within the country by 2022. Domestic air travel has returned to 60% of pre-COVID times. Flights from non-metro cities like Bhubaneswar and Patna are operating at 70% capacity now. Domestic tourism has returned to 80% of pre-COVID level. Jammu and Kashmir, Goa, Madhya Pradesh are leading the domestic tourism revival. The union budget has boosted allocation to tourism sector by 62%. Focus on infrastructure development will have a positive impact on the sector.
Since the global pandemic has affected international travel, people are going to nearby places. This is a great opportunity for us. On one hand, this means added livelihood to those in the local tourism industry. On the other hand, it makes the connect between our youth and our culture stronger. There is so much to see, learn and discover. I urge our young startup friends to think about innovative tourism-related products. I also urge you all to use this time and travel to as many as nearby areas as possible. You would be happy to know that the tourism sector in India has been growing well in the last 5 years. In the World Tourism Index, ranking of India moved from 65th to 34th position. But there is a lot more to be done, and I'm confident we will improve even more.
In recent years, startups have brought in a fresh lease of life in the tourism sector with innovative solutions. From affordable rooms to planning a trip on a mobile app, startups are exploring the immense potential of the sector with state-of-the-art technology. Need of the hour is to create a tourism ecosystem that is safe, accessible and exciting for the masses.
So we got a view of the manner in which the tourism sector is slowly returning to normalcy. Let's get a perspective from our mentor. Madhavan Menon continues to stay with us. Madhavan, help us understand the manner in which the pandemic has transformed the tourism sector. And in this new world, what is the role that startups have to play?
So I think, Subhendu, the first point to make is that when we went into a lockdown at the end of March in 2020, the entire travel industry faced catastrophic results.
Right.
Our businesses are ground to a halt. Our revenues went down to zero. We were all saddled with costs. That demanded innovation on the part of the industry to suddenly figure out how it could survive through what was uncertainty. I mean, you will remember at the time of the start of the lockdown, everybody's view was this was a 1-month exercise.
Yes.
It has finally turned out to be a 11-month, a 10-month exercise, as a result of which all of us were forced to look at ways to innovate to survive in the post-pandemic era. Clearly, startups bring something to the table which the traditional travel companies most probably didn't imbibe adequately in the years gone by. So what I would say is that going forward, clearly with their knowledge of technology, combined with the knowledge that the traditional companies bring in, will bring about a change in the way we transact with the customer. And therefore, my opinion is that startups play a very important role, in fact, a far bigger role in the post-COVID environment than they necessarily did in the pre-COVID environment.
Do stay connected with us as we look at the story of the first startup. Now, whether we're traveling for work or for leisure, we all want easy access to clean public toilets. But it is also true that there is a perception about public toilets. They're not accessible, not clean, may even be unsafe and a hub of diseases. There's a disturbing figure. 85% of women who are outside working or for work or leisure, they're apprehensive of using public toilets. But there is one startup that is transforming the manner in which we look public sanitation. When our mobile phones can be smart, when our television can be smart, why can't our public toilets be smart? Let's look at the story of Fresh Rooms to understand their fabulous journey.
Tourist places across the world are a hub of diverse range of public convenience and other utilities. But how many of the travelers have access to clean, hygienic public toilets? The answer is this technology-driven sanitation startup, Fresh Rooms. Brewing in the city of Lakes, Bhopal, aiming to create hygienic public convenience of global standards. Places which have daily commuters in number of thousands or lakhs, or tourists who flock in huge numbers. At such places, a startup is bringing the concept of Fresh Rooms, which is a concept of smart toilets, smart public convenience. Meet Ashutosh Giri, CEO and founder of Fresh Rooms, who a few years ago was just another corporate employee in an MNC and a frequent traveler. Deep inside, Ashutosh always wanted to try his hands at entrepreneurship, but what was lacking was an idea.
After Swachh Bharat mission in 2014, I was thinking, I was searching for some idea what to do, how to do. We made up our mind to work in that particular thing, but when we tested, we failed. All my family and friends, like they said, you are mad. Nobody going to pay, give money for these kind of services, and they were not understanding what is going inside my mind. Then they said, how do you maintain it?
Ashutosh started exploring technology to improvise sanitary facilities required to build smart, eco-friendly, hygienic toilets.
First time in India, we have introduced smart toilet sheet which automatically opens, the temperature controlled, which is it's first time in India we have introduced, and the entire process is touchless.
First of its kind pay and use washrooms, Fresh Rooms has set up its unit with smart toilets using IoT. Besides that, has also set up shower areas, cafeterias, nap zone, workstation, and has become a one-stop destination for travelers. Fresh Rooms has got a team of young and enthusiastic people working to set up these utilities at as many places as possible.
Recently, we have started in Prayagraj with the collaboration of NCR Railways. Now we are doing opening 5 units in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh. We are opening 15 to 25 units in Bangalore, and a lot of more opportunities under the pipeline. So this year we are targeting 100 units.
With every increasing unit, Fresh Rooms has taken up the challenge to transform public sanitation space and change the gloomy perception about public toilets in India by offering hygienic spaces to freshen up, also taking care of the travelers' luggage and their comfort, making experiences hygienic and smarter.
Put our hands together for Fresh Rooms. And Ashutosh, founder, is with us. Ashutosh, really can't imagine that public convenience sanitation could look like this. And when we see your story, we also realize that how Fresh Rooms is so much more than just a clean, smart toilet. You're changing the perception of what is public convenience. How did it start?
We have started in 2016. So because I am the frequent traveler. I used to travel 20 days in a month. So no matters how much money you have in your pocket, when nature calls, you can't stop yourself. So after the Swachh Bharat mission, we were thinking how this is the subject which is untouched, unexplored. So we wanted to work on this particular sector, and we wanted to make it this is how to make it is very smart. So we were into earlier we were into developing the technology. So how we can the monitor toilet, the hygiene, how to maintain the hygiene, and how to monetize this particular space.
Right.
So we were into our basic idea was how to monetize that space, how to create jobs, how to give 5-star facilities in an economic bracket. So if you wanted to use this high-end properties, you'll have to pay a much higher amount. So
like you're saying that if one has to use a washroom, say in a shop, one will go to a restaurant, perhaps use the facility
yes,
there,
exactly.
and thereby also have to maybe buy something at the restaurant.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So in that case, we have done a lot of market research before starting this project. So we have invested a lot of money, on the customer behaviors. So what point they use, the open area, and what exactly females are facing, because of presence of the hygiene toilets.
This is important, Ashutosh. What came out in the data in terms of public preferences related to public sanitation?
See, we were after once we have done the market research,
right.
we got 80% of public, they spend more than 200 rupees for using the toilets. If they are traveling along with their family, they are really wanted to go in a premium place, like the kind of cafe coffee day, or the MACD, or in some in mall kind of area, like they don't want to go in public toilet. So for that they have to buy something, then they can use the toilets. This is the mindset of the you know, the Indian public. And the other end, for the public toilet, they don't want to even pay. So it was quite difficult for us, you know, to ask customers to pay 10 rupees for the toilet. So in that data, what we one take break. So they go for a, you know, tea break. Then when they plan for a tea break, they go for a loo. And this is how this, you know, the works, the behavior. So what we have done, we have created a pay use and redeem model. If you wanted to go for a tea, you will have to buy a tea. So once you pay for a tea, you will get automatically you know, the free usage point of for toilet users.
Right.
So this is how we maintain not to bound customer to pay for only for toilet. So in addition to using the toilet, you will get some points to, you know, redeem somewhere.
Right.
So this is how we build a monetization model. And this is how, like, you know, we have created our smart infrastructure. We have created our own POS, own QR code technology, own data bank. You know, the now we know, like, you know, at Fresh Rooms we have 70% repeat customers.
That's amazing. And where all are you located? Where can we find Fresh Rooms, and how much does it cost, if you can tell us about that?
We have 6 variants from 100 square feet to 5,000 square feet, and it costs, like, you know, starting from 10 lakh rupees to 1 crore. So we are located in Bhopal. We are just started in Ujjain, now Prayagraj. So many more is under construction. So this year we are planning to start at least 100 units up and run.
And my question was about the cost, was also about the end user who wants to use the facility. How much does one have to pay?
Its starting price is 10 rupees.
10 rupees.
In 10 rupees they will get 1 tea or whatever the food they want to do.
That's amazing. Then who wouldn't want to use a facility like that? You mentioned about Fresh Rooms coming up in Ujjain as well. We spoke to Ujjain Municipal Commissioner, and he had something interesting to say about the startup. Let's take a look.
Ujjain is a major tourist place. We have a lot of religious tourism going on, and we have all kinds of people coming here. So although we have corporation-owned toilets, which are, some of them are being run by corporations, some of them are being run through outsourcing agencies, but we felt the need that there is a need of high-end toilets, air-conditioned, with much more facilities, because we have all types of people coming here. We thought this would be a good project to be taken up under public-private partnership. So we identified initially 5 locations, and we got Fresh Rooms as the highest bidder. Now we are in a position that we will have all these 5 smart toilets functioning in the city. Along with having clean toilets for both male and female, it also has a separate toilet for people who are differently abled. So that way also it is much more accessible.
So there we got a perspective from the administration. Ashutosh, you mentioned that 70% of the people who've used their toilets once come back for it again. What has been the response that you've gathered over a period of time? What do they say?
They very much liked it, because, like, you know, wherever we are placed at somewhere around market area, if we talk about the urban area. So we are placed, you know, the market area basically. So normally shopkeepers don't have the, you know, the toilet access.
Right.
So and they also wanted to have, you know, they also order, you know, take teas, normal 4-5 teas they order normally in course. So even they are not getting the proper toilets, and for that customers also it's quite, you know, it's good that we are there to give that kind of services. So for that they are, like, you know, they quite happy. So that is the reason they are coming again and again. And in a time schedule, if we see the you know, the timings of, you know, of any kind of shopkeeper, it's from 9 AM to 10 PM.
Right.
So it's quite a long time. So everybody, you know, being a human being, you at least have a 2-3 breaks. So for that 2-3 breaks, you wanted a, you know, the clean and, you know, the peaceful space. So
right.
that is the reason, like, you know, they are coming back again.
Right, and let's connect to our mentor for the show today. Madhavan continues to stay with us. Madhavan, you heard the story about fresh rooms. How central is clean, accessible toilets to boost tourism, the larger perspective that we're looking at?
I think Subhendu and Asutosh, I think the idea of fresh rooms is very unique to this country, purely because in the post-pandemic environment, we are beginning to see more and more people travel by road to various destinations that are proximate to their own cities. A concept like fresh cities is as if, I know Asutosh most probably didn't figure this one when he started it out in 2016, but the reality is it is made for the post-pandemic environment where, you know, suddenly personal hygiene, safety, cleanliness have all come into clear focus, and everybody wants these have become basic requirements. And it's not necessary that these facilities are available today, while toilets may be a lot cleaner than they were in the past. But the reality is they don't meet the standards that a lot of people are looking for now. So in my opinion, fresh rooms is a classic necessity that people are going to look for across the country. And, you know, I see demand for such a product being as something that will be driven by people who are actually willing to pay more. I mean, one of the factors that I've noticed in our business is that people are actually beginning to pay for services which in the past they were unwilling to pay for. So, you know, I think what Asutosh is trying to innovate is something that is absolutely correct for the time.
Right. Also, Madhavan, I want to see this startup in the context of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan also. The manner in which sanitation, public sanitation in particular, has become a part of public discourse. Now we're talking more about it, expecting more from it. How do you see that? So
the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is most probably one of the initiatives that was launched back in 2014-15. Right. Which really changed the way that people looked at sanitation. You know, many corporates, including our own company, contributed to building this particular facility across the country. But I think what Fresh Rooms brings is an enhanced version of that, where the traveler who's traveling from, let's say, from their city where they live to a destination, which is a tourist destination, is a completely different experience. And that is something that it's a follow-up to what the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan produced, and therefore, you know, has got the positioning is absolutely correct.
Very important inputs there. Madhavan, do continue to stay with us. We'll keep coming back to you to get more perspective. If I can also turn to the audience and get some questions on this brilliant startup, Fresh Rooms. Who wants to go first?
Sir, my name is Tanishka Dwivedi and currently I am studying. So, sir, I want to ask you that what measures you have taken to tell the masses that we have fresh rooms, we have hygienic smart toilets, because you can't tell individually to everyone that we have fresh rooms. So what measures you have taken to overcome that?
Measure, like, you know, we have a, you know, the set parameters, you know, why we are fresh rooms first. So in fresh rooms, after every use, we clean the toilets, and we have an automatic center system, you know, by censoring, if it is, you know, any odor, we have a system. If it is, you know, any malfunctioning with the toilet sheet, we have a system. So for every process, we have a system.
It's a self-cleaning toilet.
It's to an extent. Auto flush,
okay,
auto dry.
Sure.
And for the, you know, the cleaning the floor, we have a housekeeping guy. So for that, measuring the cleaning process, we also have a technology for that. So there is a, you know, after every use, it is mandate you have to clean the toilet, the floor and all. And we have automatic UV lights. It's once door closed, the UV lights automatically starts. So they clean the germs too. So
Right.
it's 99.9%. It's like the UV proved. You can say.
Yeah, that's brilliant. If we can have the next question. Yeah.
Hi Ashutosh. First of all, congratulations for your new bird.
Thank you.
But the point of concern is for any startup like me or you too is about the new C versus Cs. Are you looking for a competition or are you looking for a collaboration to move forward?
See, it's quite a new market, and we are quite open for the collaborations. And as we have developed two models, one for for building from scratch, and one we have the collaboration model. So soon we are going to announce for the aggregator model, where we are providing all kind of technologies from IoT technology, smart toilet technology, and the POS technology. We are going to share with the competitions.
Hello sir, I am Mukund Kapoor and I am a student at IMS Ghaziabad. So I wanted to ask you that, like, you left your corporate job for starting up. So how you managed those risk factors and who supported you in starting your business?
My what else I should say, the first, believe in yourself, and if you believe in yourself, if you have a committed, you have given commitment of yourself, so nobody can stop you. And if you see nearby, everybody wants to support you, because if you talk about family, if you talk about your friends, everybody will talk about your efforts, your idea. There is some negative and positive. If there is negative, then there is a concern, because they love you, right? So they don't want to see you in bad shape. So once you decide, the whatever happened, the worst case scenario. When I left, I said with my father said, why do you want to leave this job? Do it simultaneously. So I said, I can't do it, because I wanted to give 100% time to this particular idea. So my dad said, how you will earn the money, how you maintain your this standard of lives and all. So I said one thing: when you came in this city, you have started everything from scratch. What will happen? I have to scratch, I have to start again from the scratches. Might be possible my daughters cannot go into high-end schools. Maybe they can go in the normal government school, acceptable to me. If I have to sell my car, I am okay. I can buy new bicycle, I can start. So I said, the worst case scenario, what will happen? I'll have to walk.
I talk about passion of dreams. Ashutosh, it's very interesting. Let's also find out what your parents think about you and your startup. Now we got a chance to speak to them, if we can have those bites.
इसने जब नौकरी छोड़ी तो हमको बड़ा ही दुख हुआ कि ये इतनी अच्छी नौकरी को छोड़ रहा है, लेकिन जब उसने बोला कि नहीं, ये काम बहुत अच्छा है और इसको करने से अपनी तरक्की काफ़ी होगी, तो हमको उस टाइम थोड़ी राहत महसूस हुई।
जब प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इन लोगों से जब बातचीत करी तो हमको बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत गर्व महसूस हुआ, समाज वालों को भी हुआ, सब जितने हमारे जान पहचान वालों को सबको बहुत खुशी हुई कि अच्छी तरक्की कर रहा है।
Amazing, amazing. Really proud parents there, Ashutosh. Ashutosh, finally, where do you go from here? Now that such a fabulous startup is in place, how do you expand and how do people across the country be able to access fresh rooms? What is your plan?
See, we are in collaboration mode right now. So we are doing a lot of collaborations with the government as well as with the private corporates, investors. So from here, we are targeting within 3 years, we are planning to run 5,000 stores like this, so that we can build what we can say ecosystem for the traveler or for the individual who wanted to travel. So we wanted to create a kind of atmosphere or environment. You can plan your travel without any hesitation. So we are planning to give services from end-to-end process, from home to home. we can say.
Right, right. And if you can just quickly get a perspective from our mentor. Madhavan, while Ashutosh was sharing about the plan for expansion, what is your advice in the manner in which they must expand the challenges and opportunities that you think lies ahead for them?
Look, as far as I'm concerned, timing-wise, there couldn't be a better timing, especially given the fact that the government is very clearly building the infrastructure in the form of roads, and the idea is to encourage more travel by road to various destinations. Secondly, the pandemic has brought domestic travel or domestic tourism to the forefront, which I believe will actually result in people taking more trips in a combination of road as well as air, which was something that had faded in the past because people thought that traveling by air was the only way to get from point A to point B. My belief is that that is a very strong backing for a concept like this. While I understand the constraints in a country like India of real estate and having to deal with multiple partners in this, I believe that Ashutosh needs to push for government support. Operators who will run these highways, as well as municipalities, which recognize, through this whole COVID experience, I'm sure that a lot of municipalities around the country have recognized the need to provide services which are not just basic but more advanced, because the target audience is not just somebody who uses the Swachh Abhiyan facility, but there is that particular tourist or a traveler who comes with different requirements, and Fresh Rooms actually provides that facility. So it's a clearly identified gap in the market, and subject to having many of these partners come on board, I'm pretty sure that this option will take off. This offering will take off. Sorry.
A useful piece of advice there. I'm sure Ashutosh can make use of that. Thanks. Madhavan, stay with us. And let's now meet our next startup. We're talking about Highway Delight. Now, who doesn't like road trips? Meet your friends and family, pack your bags, sit in the car and hit the road. Now, with the fun, the adventure, also come a bit of risk. What if your car breaks down in the middle of a highway on a stretch where you don't know anyone? How do you find a mechanic? What if you want to find out where is the closest petrol pump, or perhaps a restaurant, or even a toilet for that matter? Highway Delight puts all this vital information available to you on a mobile app. They also ensure that you get information on accident-prone stretches on the highway, just to ensure that you're safe. Let's look at their special journey.
While road trips are always fun during long journeys on the highways, there are always chances of facing the unexpected. It is not possible to pack all the basic stuff or services that you might need while traveling hundreds of kilometers. In case of a contingency, it is often difficult to find help easily. A startup, Highway Delight in Bengaluru, has tried to address this problem.
From the day one when we started Highway Delight, the entire focus was that we want to create a verified platform of highway services, and the platform would include each and every element of a highway travel requirement. So we started with covering of 12 different categories. So it was restaurants, hotels, petrol pump, mechanic, puncture shop. We also have details of hospitals and pharmacy. We are also the only platform where we also list accident zones on highways. And of course, we have information related to toll gates and arts and crafts stores and these things. So we try to bring that assurance to highway travel, wherein the information is easily available and it is more personalized to the traveler.
The journey of Highway Delight started from Bengaluru in 2015. Today, it has expanded across India. Early users of the app were some biking groups in Bengaluru. The app was a useful companion.
we used to face a lot of challenges where we couldn't get any mechanics on way during a breakdown or something, or any good restaurants where healthy food or hygiene food is not available, or clean toilets.
This app is having a pan-India presence. Suppose if I go to even Tamil Nadu or even Andhra Pradesh, I can find the restaurants in the highway where I can sit out and relax, and the food is good.
Over the last few decades, a remarkable network of highways and roads have been laid across the country. The improved economic condition, disposable income has allowed more people to own a personal vehicle. People are now travelling a lot in their own vehicles besides using the public transport. As the times and needs have changed, so have the use of technology like Highway Delight, which can make your journey now hassle-free and a memorable experience.
The startup that we are going to tell you about has tried to bring in all the amenities and assistances available along thousands of kilometers of highways across the country on one single platform. So next time when you step out of your house and try to visit any destination along the highways, your journey can be more predictable, secure, comfortable, affordable.
Round of applause if you can have for our brilliant startup, Highway Delight. And Rajesh is with us, founder Rajesh, a great startup. Now, the kind of focus, the kind of attention that you're paying to the needs of people who are on the highway on a road trip or for other work. Are you a traveler yourself? Where did this idea originate?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the idea originated from my own personal travel experience.
Right.
So I used to be a consultant with ICRA ratings and had done a great amount of road travel as part of my job.
Okay.
And the personal pain points which I encountered as a business traveler was itself so much that I could just imagine the pain of a family traveler or a traveler, especially having women as a co-traveler in it. Just to give you a real experience, once in Maharashtra near Nagpur, I had actually had to make a stopover in the car itself because I couldn't get a lodge which was safe in that area.
Oh.
It was a real Naxalite prone area, and then also on a trip I need to still figure out a way where I can get a decent hygienic food available on a highway, and whether the restaurant is open and at that point serving the right kind of food which we need. So these are the real time experiences which I could sense that there is a big problem area which can be solved. And then as and when I started, we started in 2015, and as we come along all this while, and every time when you interact with a highway traveler, there are something which you can learn.
Right.
The kind of needs they want, the kind of personalization they want, and the kind of assurance, safety and fun element. Right. So people, when they hit road, they want this assurance, safety and fun. I mean, they want something, a completely digital experience, just the way we get it in flight, end-to-end digitized. So that is what we are eventually trying to create as a part of Highway Delight platform. So we call ourselves as a verified highway platform service.
Verified. So I think I wanted to come to that point. While the concerns that you address are absolutely important and we all relate to them, there are, one can search online if one wants to find the nearest restaurant or a mechanic for that matter. How is your service? How is Highway Delight different from what, say, the competition has to offer?
Yes, so our core USP is that all the information which we enlist on our platform is 100% verified by us. So we have ensured that the entire outlet, be it the phone numbers, the facilities, the photographs, we even take washroom photographs and put it on our app so that the customers can actually see how the washroom look inside. And of course, we want to create a much more digital engagement on top of it, not just create just a discovery part of it, but also enable digital transaction, real-time feedback, real-time ratings of the washrooms, and and make it all available on the go.
That's a lot of information to put together. We're talking about thousands and thousands of miles of highways and so many hotels and other facilities. How do you put it all together? Tell us something about your team that does it.
Yes, so we started as a small team, and of course we have built all this coverage of kilometers over a period of time. So currently, as we stand, we have covered more than 60,000 kilometers, and I could say that Highway Delight is one of the startups who got
60,000 kilometers of verified information. I think a round of applause should be important for that sort of an achievement. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, we still have a long way to go. India has more than 1.3 lakh national highway kilometers and close to about similar amount of kilometers on state highways. So we want to ensure that, you know, in the next 2-3 years, we cover the entire NH and SH kilometers and bring it on our platform, and also play a role to digitize the highway transaction services and the entire business and commerce on the highways.
Let's also find out, Rajesh, what our mentor has to say. Madhavan, really important verified information, especially when you're on the highway. You were talking about road trips earlier. That would be transformative for anyone's experience of being on the road. How do you see the journey of Highway Delight?
So coincidentally, I had actually downloaded the app Highway Delight sometime back.
Oh, you did? Amazing.
Yes, I did. And while I've not used it extensively, I'm actually aware of the sort of information as well as the verification process that Rajesh is talking about. But I think, again, I will provide a perspective in the post-COVID environment where road travel is going to increase significantly. An app like Highway Delight will add a lot of value. Today, when you travel between one city and another, and I'll use the example of Mumbai and let's say Pune, the reality is we've got a highway that is adequately developed. But the reality is the minute you step off the highway, then information becomes sparse. You can, yes, Google and find things, but the reality is information is simply inadequate. Highway Delight steps in and fills a gap there. And it's relevant. I actually looked at it when I drove from Mumbai to Goa, and after Pune, I did get a lot of relevant information, which I could plan help me at least anticipate problems. I'm fortunate I didn't face any of the problems, which is why I said I didn't have to use the app extensively. But I think it provides value addition from my perspective with a greater amount of travel by road, the need to visit hotels, restaurants, and provide various other services. I mean, when I opened it today morning, the first thing I saw was FASTag and the recharge of FASTag. All of us know that has suddenly become relevant at tolls just in the last 2 weeks.
Right, important perspective there. Thanks, Madhavan. Now, Rajesh, there are two aspects to your app, as I understand. So far, we were talking about the manner it helps people who are traveling on the road access restaurants or toilets, but it's also the other way around. It also helps restaurants connect with a lot of customers who are crossing from the highway. So on that front, tell us about your experience. How have the restaurants and establishments who you connect with people on the road, how have they responded?
Yeah, so I mean, I see Highway Delight, just to give a context,
yeah.
I see Highway Delight as at the intersection of travel and tourism, mobility and logistics.
Right.
So, and then of course,
it's a meeting point in a way.
It's a meeting point, yeah. So we are trying to create a platform where all these three meets, and when we say about advancement in the next phase, that is where it will all collaborate, and we will have the solution offering across these sectors. So coming to the pit stop part of it, of course, the pit stop, when we started, I mean, most of the pit stop were not fully aware of what would be the possibilities of this platform. But as and when we started the engagement with the biking communities, and then we started to send a batch of bikers to a specific pit stop, I mean, they had completely changed their view. They said that, I mean, a crowd of 50 people coming together can be managed so smoothly through an app where the payment happens prepaid, where we actually generate a coupon for the breakfast. We even customize the menu, customize the price, tell them the arrival time, give them a reserve space, both for parking as well as to
and we're sort of talking about a post-pandemic world where restaurants are also looking for more and more customers to come in. Let's also get some input from some restaurants that we spoke to who've been using your app and have benefited from it. If we can play those important bites now.
I'm very, very happy with the way the Highway Delight themselves promote. So we have a lot of customers which are bikers, which are travelers, which are long drive enthusiastic, the people who go to Nandi Hill or go long back. So Highway Delight taps all this kind of customer because they have only one app to find out which are the best restaurants with the best offer on highway. So we are very happy to associate, and I don't think so we need any change in future on further with the customers and the more crowd. Of course, there are a lot of tweaking to be done in the app, and I think they can do it very beautifully.
This app helps people in two ways. One for the business people, another for the travelers who travel a lot. So this app, what I think personally is very much required for from both the ends, where a traveler can know which are the good restaurants been listed, which is verified, and other for us to get the good creamy crowd. One thing is they have a pre-ordered platform wherein a traveler can order the food pre-ordered. So when he comes, he doesn't need to wait for a table nor wait for his food. He can just come, enjoy, and take his turn. Might be he will surely come back to us.
Happy restaurant owners who are benefiting from Highway Delight. Rajesh, I'm also curious, what is your business model? Does it cost for one person to download your app? How are you earning your revenue? Tell us something about that.
Yeah. So the business model is, I mean, for a traveler, it is completely free, and it would be free in the future. And the model is around the similar model like OTAs, like where we aggregate the information and generate leads for the restaurants or the hotels, and in future even digitize the breakdown services and generate a commission out of each of these transactions and build a revenue on that.
Right. If at this point we can turn to our audience members, get some questions. Yes, please.
So first of all, congratulations, sir, for such making such platform which would help the highway travelers a lot. And the question I want to ask you is, what were the missed opportunities on which you looked upon and on which you researched, which helped you to make your startup this successful? And being a student, being a youngster, I also want to ask if in future students like us and people like us who want to build up a startup like you all are building, so how can we make our idea so attractive and so lucrative that investors are attracted easily? Because the main point of a startup is only if you get the funding, then only you can make it a big thing.
Important question about those initial days when you want to transform an idea into an enterprise. How was it for you, and what can youngsters particularly learn from that experience?
Yeah, I think I would say that I mean, the core of any startup is the customer problem you're trying to solve.
Yeah.
So as long as you research your customer well and understand the problem and the needs they want to they have, and then if there is a possibility to solve that. So a startup is just a definition is where you apply technology and it is scalable. But otherwise, for a business, I mean, if you're trying to solve a customer problem, as long as that gets solved, it's a business. So that is what we look at. So when I started Highway Delight, of course, I started and I went out and met before actually incorporating my company. I traveled more than 1,000 kilometers, met all the highway outlet owners, plus the customers, they were coming there, and just throw this idea that what if you have a platform where you can do all of this on a touch of a phone.
So you were on the ground taking
on the ground, yeah, taking notes and collecting data, and just been fortunate that I had done a lot of user research on both the sides, on customers as well as the hotel and restaurant owners, and could derive all the value at which we can package it as a product and build a solution and a platform around it. So all these user research happened before I actually incorporated a company. So company incorporation and incubation happened later on.
Okay.
But this was the core part. And on the funding side, the question which you asked on the funding, we've been very fortunate to be part of the Bangalore startup ecosystem. We started our journey from IIM Bangalore, NSR cell being incubated there, got funded. We also got raised support from the Karnataka startup, which they actually opened for the tourism segment first, and we got we were the winner of that. We got the grant funding from them. Later on, we got grant funding from Bharat Petroleum, which is a strategic partner to us. And so I mean, even the funding side, I would say that the ecosystem is so mature right now.
So what I gather is it's good to work on that idea, and then you can also
then of course
these incubation
the interested parties come along.
Another question, if you can pick from the audience members. Yes.
Yeah. Hello sir, my name is Vimal Mishra and I'm currently a student. My question basically is to you is for a startup which started like 6 years back in 2015 if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes.
And recently last year we saw a time where everything was closed. So it was, and also we saw recent startups getting closed, startups establishing and maybe not working out. So how did your Highway Delight worked, and how did you manage to keep the team together and work and just uplift your startup which was just started 5 years back?
Yeah, so all this while before COVID, we were building things and putting this together. When the COVID hit, it just completely came to a halt.
Right.
But it was a good time for us. I mean, when I talked to my team, it was a good time to just go back to the drawing board and just work on all the loopholes which we had in our technology and make it ready so that post COVID we can leverage on, and that is what we are doing.
You changed the crisis into an opportunity because more people, I think, were hitting the roads. After the pandemic came towards a close. Also, let's understand the kind of support that you got from your family. We could speak to some of them. Let's listen in.
He was actually a creative mind. He wanted to create something always. In the childhood itself, he used to, those days TVs and all were not there, transistor and all. Murphy radio when I purchased from the CSD canteen. One day I was not, I didn't notice, he opened a complete radio, transistor. Then he started again assembling. Like that, since beginning he was having a creative mind. And he want to create something, and his own organization, he want to spread it and build up in a higher level. So he used to tell like that. Then I said, okay, no problem. Whatever I can help financially, I'll help you and I'll guide you according to my experience. So I too also a little bit interested, okay, you give the job to the others. Let somebody be happy with that, and needy people to be looked after. So in social way, I did that.
Rajesh, it seems your father knew that you were born to start a startup. How's been the support from the family?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a phenomenal support from the family side. Yeah, I mean, they were always there for the things, yeah.
If I were to turn to you finally and ask, for the journey that you've had of your startup, the failures, for the successes, one key learning, one idea, one thought that sustained both of you, your teams in the startup, what would be that idea? Ashutosh, if you would like to share with all the viewers.
See, we have learned in any startup, if you want to sustain, you should have a clear intention is very important. So, if you have a clear intention to achieve your vision, so you can sustain anyways in any kind of situation.
Great. And Rajesh, what would you say?
Yeah, I would just give 4 P's of startup maybe. I mean, just the way we have 4 P's in marketing. So one is purpose. I mean, that defines the very essence of your startup. Then second is passion, to pursue that purpose. And then to keep continuing that, you need a very, very good amount of perseverance and also patience at the same time. So I think purpose, passion, perseverance and patience.
That's superb food for thought from the startup champions. And before we close, let's also see the kind of impact that Startup Champions is already having. Take a look.
Thank you, Doordarshan team. It was a great honor for Jackfruit 365 to be part of the Startup Champions program in the agriculture and food processing sector. The kind of response which we got was unimaginable. We received calls from an MLA in Arunachal Pradesh to a diabetic patient in Bhubaneswar. We could not have achieved this level of reach without the national audience coverage of Doordarshan.
The national program has created a huge buzz for us in all our stakeholders, including customers and talent communities in India as well as abroad. We have witnessed a surge of inquiry about our product since the program. Thank you for providing us with a strong national platform. We are thrilled to be on this journey.
We are getting connect requests from users,
from their parents, from different schools all across the India, and all thanks to DD Network for that.
And with that, we've come to the close of this edition of Startup Champions. Let me thank all the participants first. Let me thank our mentor, Madhavan. Thanks very much for joining us in the program. The perspective, the advice that you shared, very, very special. It made the program. Thanks very much, Madhavan. Thank you very much, Ashutosh, Rajesh, for sharing your success stories. I'm sure they're going to inspire many more entrepreneurs, youngsters who are watching this program. Thank you very much to all the members of the audience for being such a spirited presence. A round of applause for all of you. And if you want to connect to our startups or tell us about the program, you can write to us at startup.india@gov.in. With that, we conclude this edition of Startup Champions. But this journey of learning, this journey of getting inspired by the brilliant startups of India will continue till we meet again. Namaskar.